darling. Yes, sirree, Bob. It's little old me, Bob. That gal with the looks who really cooks. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. The show, as you know, is Movie Macabre. And once again, this time around, Vincent Price turns up in yet another one of them yarns inspired by the mighty pen of Mr. Edgar Allan, what's his name? Boy, could that guy ever write or what? And most of his stories are ones that I ain't ever even heard of before. Like the one we're threading up this week. It's called The Oblong Box. Now, you tell me, you ever heard of that one before? Well, Edgar Allan Poe wrote it according to the credits, but why he'd want to take credit is beyond my poor power of comprehension. Be that as it may, it's The Oblong Box starring Vincent Price and with a special guest appearance by that other Fright Show fave, Christopher Lee. Yep, Vinny the Pea and Christopher Lee together again for the first time, right here on Movie Macabre. Come on, Vinny, lighten up, would you? Well, you don't have to be such a hard nose about it. Gee, I mean, it really wasn't Trench's fault. All he did was casually mention the word Africa.
I just want you to know that I've come back from Africa.
Well, see what I mean? Boy, that really rattles Sir Eddie's cage. I wonder what them natives did to him anyway. I mean, besides nail him to a post and make him listen to that rotten disco music. Well, whatever it was, it certainly left him with a nasty disposition. I wonder if Attila, the program director, ever spent time in Africa. Well, the Oblong Box continues on Movie Macabre after the advertisers beat their drums. Wait a minute. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Explanation time out. Do you mean that they mean to do what I think they mean? Are they really just going to try passing off any old stiff with an upper lip as Sir Eddie? I mean, ain't there just the slightest chance that maybe somebody in the village might catch on? Well, I guess that's why you always hear them referred to as the ignorant villagers. You never hear them called the smart villagers, do you? I mean, I can just see it now. But I seem to recollect that Sir Eddie was a bit taller. No, Sir Edward was shorter. No, you're both wrong. I distinctly remember that Sir Eddie was a woman. Oh, so we'll let the sun shine in on a new life, will we? Sure we will. Just try telling that one to poor Sir Edward down there in that box. Can you imagine his surprise when he comes around and tries sitting up? Oh, real ouchy there. Have a nice day, Sir Edward. Something I wanted to share with you. I was having this really in-depth conversation with Channel 9's very own Meredith McRae, you know, just last week, and she was telling me that... Ow! Ooh, wow, who's shooting the spit wads? Oh, wise guy, huh? So it's you, Mugumbo. You know, two can play at this game, Buster. Oh, drats, I missed. Well, what about water pistols at 20 paces? Natural causes? He died of natural causes? Call a poison dart in the neck dying of natural causes? Maybe they have it figured as a pub accident or something. They're very big on darts in them English pubs, you know, in case you don't get it. Anyway, meanwhile, it looks like Sir Edward's doing his Elephant Man impersonation in that ill-fitting mask of his. And he still has that nasty habit of grabbing everybody he meets by the throat. Africa! Oh, gee. You think a simple handshake and a howdy would do the trick. The advertisers here on Movie Macabre also have the nasty habit of going for the throat. So after this commercial timeout, it's back to Edgar Allan Poe's The Oblong Box. Well, at least now he won't have to worry about having a guilty conscience over spending that blood money that Trench gave him. He wanted to be Mr. Holier-than-thou. Well, now he's holier by about 14 stab wounds. Boy, that has got to be one of them times when a person just knows he said the wrong thing the minute the words came out of his mouth. If he'd only used his head and said something like, "Witch doctor? Oh, Oh, you mean witch doctor? For a minute there, I didn't know which doctor you were talking about. Well, maybe he'll remember to do that the next time. Right now, these sponsors want to take something up with you. Then it's back to the movie, The Oblong Box, continuing right after this. So these cannibals, a whole bunch of them, they come upon this campsite out in the middle of the jungle, and sitting around the campfire, there's these two guys, and one of them is writing his diary, and the other one is reading this book. Well, the cannibals just naturally eat the one who's reading the book, right? You might want to ask, why is that?
Why is that?
Well, because they knew that writers cramp readers' digest. So, the authorities now have some bloke's cloak evidence. Will the trail lead to Sir Eddie? Will we at last get a glimpse of... Boy, I wish they would knock it off down there. I can hardly hear myself think. Listen to them whooping it up night after night. It's the same darn thing, like some Solomon Primar or something. Shut up down there! Shut up! Shut up! There, that's better. Boy, the way they carry on, you can't even hear your own darn self think. Now, what was I saying? Okay. Well, night after night, somebody down there is screaming bloody murder. See what I mean? Bloody murder. That was the last time I read to pre-med students. Shut up! So what does he want out of Chris Lee? Like a second opinion or something? Okay, Sir Edward, so you're real ugly. Yeah, golly. I wonder if the rest of us ever get to see that kisser of his before this turkey's over. Now, wouldn't that be a rotten trick if they just let us on for a couple of hours and then they never let us see him? A rotten trick, let me tell you. One that even I would be afraid to pull. Well, no, I couldn't do that. The exciting and long-awaited finito is coming up right after these messages. Stay glued. You did want to see Sir Eddie without his mask, didn't you? Vincent Price has done it again. He's gone and nodded off. See him over there, stacking up the Z's? Oh boy, this is gonna be funny. Gets him every time. Wake up! I just love it when I catch him like that. It really just makes my night. I guess everybody just likes playing rotten tricks on Vinny the Pea. Just look at the one Sir Eddie pulled on him. That's what you call biting the hand that feeds you. And it must have been feeding him junk food, judging from the condition of his complexion. Well, that's about a wrap on this stanza of Movie Macabre. Next week, well, let me tell you about next week. Next week, Vincent Price returns, and yet another Poe classic, one that even I've heard of, The Fall of the House of Usher. Yeah, boy, I can hardly wait. Hardly. But wait I will, with bated breath, and I hope to see you then, too. You bring the popcorn, I'll provide the salt. And until then, darling, here's the big send-off. Until then, darling, unpleasant